Joining me now are the editor of OpinionJournal.com, James Toronto, columnist for the New York Daily News, CNN contributor Errol Lewis, and syndicated columnist, professor of journalism at Lehman College, also CNN contributor Miguel Perez. Good to have you all with us. Let's pick up with the latest development in health care. Senator Max Baucus has produced a proposal on health care that will cut $500 billion from Medicare, will result in almost $400 billion in new taxes. How excited are you, Miguel?
Well, nobody seems to like it. That's the problem. And so it's sort of like a middle ground that nobody wants to come to.
Except for President Obama, who embraced it ahead of time.
Sure, I think it becomes his default position. The Max Baucus, as far as I can tell, was tasked with coming up with something that could pass the Senate. That he did. In theory, it could pass the Senate. Ugly dog that it is.
In whose dreams? Jay Rockefeller comes out, one of the leading Democrats, saying absolutely not. The majority leader of the Senate, not in his state, says he. And we haven't even gotten to the Republicans, Errol.
Well, and of course the House members pronounced it dead on arrival, but
reaching across the Capitol to do so.
I guess the process is about as bipartisan as we're going to see happen here. And if
bipartisan in this case was a gang of 6, 3 Republicans. None of the Republicans, 3 among 100 senators, they wouldn't get near it. What is that about?
Well,
what happened to bipartisanship? We were told it was alive and well on Capitol.
What happened was there was a massive popular revolt over the summer, and the Republicans are smart enough to stay away from this thing, and I think a lot of the Democrats are too, and perhaps it won't pass. Here's something that puzzles me about the Baucus bill. Maybe you can explain this to me. One of the central provisions is this idea of a mandate where everyone has to buy insurance or pay a fine. Right. Now, we've been hearing that
$900 as individuals, $3,800 as families.
Right. We've been hearing that the insurance companies are greedy and cruel. Nancy Pelosi called them immoral.
And coercive.
Right. So the answer to this is to have a law and force everyone to buy their products. Is that madness?
Who was it who made the comparison, suggesting this was a little like asking the homeless, forcing them to buy a mansion or pay a fine? It was. It's about at that level.
We're like fighting the tobacco companies by forcing every American to smoke 2 packs a day. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, and here we are with this going forward. Where is the path forward here? Because it has been rejected by Democrats in the Senate. It has been rejected by Democrats in the House, who have yet to even begin to deal with those issues.
The only way that this passes, I think, is budget reconciliation, a simple majority, which is very controversial, and I don't know if the Democrats have the guts to do it.
Generally considered a sure path to losing the 2010 election.
Which may not be salvageable in any event.
How did this come to be? The Republicans only 30 days ago were a group of the dumbest people in politics on the planet, and today the Democrats are making them look reasonably intelligent. What is going on?
Listen, I think the Democrats are going to lose seats next year. That's just the way things happen when you've got a party in power. The question is, do they lose 20 seats, which might be survivable, or do they lose 50 seats, which is a big problem? I think that's kind of the middle terrain that they're going to be fighting over.
Lou, the answer is the 2 parties are competing to be the second dumbest party in American politics.
Well put. And on that, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with our panel. We'll decide, well, definitively. Maybe there's a tie here for the second dumbest party in politics. We'll be right back.
John and I may not seem like we have a lot in common, but there is at least one thing. We're both big supporters of Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is an international healthcare system dedicated to improving the lives of kids. They provide pediatric specialty care for orthopedic conditions, burns, spinal cord injuries, and more, all at no charge.
Join us for the Justin Timberlake Shriners Hospitals for Children Open in Las Vegas. Visit jtshrinersopen.com.
This is humiliating.
Stand still so we can get an accurate reading. Okay, 18 pounds and a smidge.
A smidge?
You know, there's really no need to weigh packages under 70 pounds. With priority mail flat rate boxes from the Postal Service, if it fits, it ships anywhere in the country for a low flat rate.
Cool.
You know, this scale is off a good 7, 8 pounds. Maybe 5.
Priority mail flat rate boxes, only from the Postal Service. A simpler way to ship. CNN Next. Campbell Brown, a voice of reason. Brown's reporting is worth cheering. Campbell Brown, your 8 p.m. alternative. CNN Next.
After 60 I've lived in New Jersey all my life.
Between the taxes,
Corruption,
unemployment,
spending,
it's just getting harder and harder to live here. That's why I'm supporting Christie.
As U.S. Attorney, he put corrupt politicians in jail.
Republicans
and Democrats.
Chris took on polluters.
Fought Delaware River and ocean dumping.
He's bipartisan,
independent,
a leader.
Christie will cut spending
and reduce taxes.
And make New Jersey affordable again.
Last time I voted for Corzine.
This year, I'm supporting Christie.
Do you really want to change Trenton?
We can start by changing governance.
When people say, Mike, why Ford? Why now? You know what I do? I introduce them to the fuel-sipping Ford Fusion and Focus.
I don't know if you've heard, but this whole fuel efficiency thing, kind of a big deal. Ford has you covered.
Because Fusion gets an EPA estimated 34 miles per gallon, and Focus gets an impressive 35 miles per gallon.
How's that for going green?
Plus, coming now for 0% financing and up to $1,500 cash back on a Ford Focus. See your Ford dealer or go to tristateford.com and drive one.
Michael Moore takes your calls on Larry King Live, Wednesday night, 9 Eastern on CNN.
Undoings, I guess, is the category of this next question, and that let's begin with you, Miguel. Acorn defunded in the Senate, 7 Democrats voting for in support of Acorn. In the House, defunded by an overwhelming vote again, 75 Democrats supporting Acorn. How in the world can anybody be supporting Acorn in this?
Don't look at me. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Frankly, Lou, it's gotten to the point now where I think a real investigation is necessary to really figure out whether these people really deserve money. They're conducting their own internal investigation. That's an ultimate joke. But
oh, by the way, we should add they were also conducting sensitivity training amongst all their employees, as if that could be the
But
solution.
you know, my concern, Lou, is the people who are serviced by these agencies, because there are a lot of people who need these services. And if
that's why
Acorn
God invented a government.
If Acorn disappears, who's going to take care of these people?
How about the government? This is the government's role. It's not a non-government function, is it?
Well, they've never done it. I mean, this is the problem. You have 40 years of looking back. Does the government do voter registration drives? No, it does not. Does the government go out and do...
Wait. Now, wait a minute. I thought we were talking about housing and those other aspects of Acorn. If you move into the voter registration issues, why in God's name isn't that the function of the political parties and the political movements in this country?
A very good question.
Why in the heck should they be receiving federal tax money, state tax money, city tax money? I mean, this is crazy.
But I'll tell you what, between the social services and some of those things like voter registration, the people who voted to strip them of their funding, I think have some questions that they need to answer, like who's going to do this stuff? Did you value it at all?
How in the world did taxpayer money ever end up in the pockets of partisan nonprofits?
Well, and not only partisan, but this is a group that has been caught on video at least 5 times offering advice on how to evade the authorities while enslaving girls as prostitutes. I mean, this is beyond corruption. This is beyond partisanship. This is absolute depravity.
And if you will, go to LouDobbs.com to take a look at each of those videos. It's revolting, but it's also absolutely important for you to see what is happening here. Gentlemen, as always, thanks for being here. Appreciate it, James. Thank you, Errol. Thank you, Miguel. Up next, Heroes, our weekly salute to the men and women who serve this nation in uniform.